Hello YouTube, how's it going? My name is Lee, and today I'm here to review the new film, Bring Her Back. I think this movie fucking rules, and I will be back to let you guys know why I think that after we take a look at the trailer real quick.
Oh, welcome to your new home. This is my daughter's room.
How did she cope with Kathy being gone?
I didn't.
I think there's something wrong with Laura.
Oh my God, what is it? We can bring it back. I'm supposed to report how safe and reliable you are. So stay safe, stay reliable, yeah?
Okay, so that was a look at Bring Her Back, which is a new film from the Philippou brothers, who directed Talk to Me just like a couple years ago. And it stars Sally Hawkins, Billy Barrett, Jonah Wren Phillips, and Sora Wong. And yeah, so like I said, I think this movie fucking rules. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One thing I really want to talk about is this, along with seeing this, especially right after I've seen Mission Impossible, really just reminds you of what movie theaters are for. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think I'd get the same experience from this movie if I didn't go see it in theaters. It's one of those movies where, like, by the time the last 20 minutes was kicking in, I'm over here leaning forward. I'm locked in. I'm all in on the movie. Go see this in theaters, okay? The other thing is that I liked about this film, and why it rules so much, is I really like the tone of this one. It's pretty much uneasy from the jump. It starts off, the first, like, frame or whatever, it says, like, this is not a cult. And I thought that was part of the logos or whatever, but I don't think it is. It was kind of interesting. I liked it quite a bit, and there's a reason why they do that, and I thought it was pretty cool. And the tone is just really foreboding, really uneasy. Honestly, it gets under your skin. The longer the movie keeps going and the more information you keep getting from the film, it's just one of those things where it's like, man, oh man, this is just really getting to me. And the other thing is that I liked about it is, speaking of that information, I really like the way this movie doles out the information. At first I didn't like it, and we'll get into that near the end of the review, but then I think it ended up helping the film out quite a bit. So, what is this movie about? Well, this movie is a horror movie, of course. It's from A24, and like I said, it's from the Philippou brothers, who did Talk to Me, and if you did not like Talk to Me, you probably aren't going to like this, although I think this is a much better movie than Talk to Me. I thought Talk to Me was pretty good, but this is like, you know, they're really... These are directors to keep your eye out for, that's for sure. So it follows two step-siblings whose father unexpectedly passes away, and they have to go into the foster care system. Now, the older sibling, the brother, wants to, you know, get custody of his sister, but he's 3 months shy of being 18, so he cannot do that. So they pretty much just gotta, like, wait it out until they can get all that sorted out. Unfortunately for them, you know, they end up in Sally Hawkins' house, and, you know, stuff just keeps getting weirder and creepier from the start. So that's the setup of the movie. The main thing I really want to focus on here is not just how scary the movie is, but I think the performances in this movie really do a good job of making this movie as good as it is. First one we'll shout out is Jonah Wren Phillips, who plays this character Ollie. He's a really creepy kid, and that's all I'm gonna say, but he does a really good job playing this creepy kid. Billy Barrett, he plays the older step-sibling in the movie. I think he does a really, really great job of playing a character who ends up being very layered. I was actually pretty surprised at how layered and complex his character ended up being. He's pretty much somebody he's made a pretty big mistake in the past, and you don't realize it at first, but he really is working to rectify that. And one of the things that makes this movie so good is him, along with Sora Wong, who we'll talk about a little bit more later, do a really good job of creating like a realistic step-sibling and just sibling in general relationship. They feel very, very realistic. It feels like they've known each other for a long time, and that they actually are related and grew up together. And this is just one of those things where, like, the writing for their characters, along with the acting and stuff being so good, just kind of works in tandem, does that movie magic that makes them really feel like they're real and that they've known each other for a while. It's really impressive stuff, and I just want to shout that out. Speaking of Sora Wong, the sister in this movie, she is blind in real life, and she plays a character who is also blind. Well, her character is, like, blind in the sense that, like, she can see lights and shapes, but in real life I think she can see out of one eye. I think after I was reading about her, there's not like a whole lot online about her, which is fine. But yeah, I think she's very good. She has a very natural screen presence, which I think really helps a lot build that relationship between her and her older brother. And her character is one who's been a little bit more sheltered, but she, she knows that she's got like, a disability. She's like blind, and she wants people to like her, wants to be wanted. They set that up pretty well at the beginning, and I think that helps lead to why she makes certain decisions throughout the movie, and all that. So she loves her brother at the end of the day, and that's very important to her character. And I think Sora Wong did a really good job of selling all of this. And there's stuff she does in this movie that she's tasked with in this movie that a lesser actress I think wouldn't have been able to pull off. So she does a really good job. This is my first time ever seeing her, and she doesn't have. I think this is her first movie as well. I saw her on IMDb. I'm pretty sure I only saw this one movie. So hey, kudos to her. She really knocked it out of the park. The other one we got to talk about is Oscar-winning actress Sally Hawkins, who's coming in here and pretty much reminding you why she won that Oscar, because her character in this, very complex, very layered. One of those characters where you're like, I don't like this chick, but then you're like, I don't know, actually I kind of do. Oh wait, now I don't like her anymore. Oh wait, well now I actually kind of understand what's going on here more. I kind of feel bad for her. One of those characters that's just fantastic. The writing for this character is really good in my opinion, but Hawkins makes it even better because she's just such a good actress. They really hit like just talk about getting really great a really great actor for your casting, man, because I feel like this is one of those roles where if anyone else got it, movie might not work as well, honestly. It is one of those things. And I think she's extremely good. She does Hawkins does this thing, and she's always done this thing, but she does a really fantastic job of just selling every single beat and every moment that her character has. She does a great job at that, and her character's motivation is very clear. She's motivated and deluded by grief, and that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to say too much about her character, but she's phenomenal in this. She really sells all the scenes, and she does a great job of keeping your suspension of disbelief going. You know what I mean? You never are like, oh, this is too much. Like, who would do this? Because she's so invested, it keeps you invested. So, and that's why you hire someone like Sally Hawkins. The other thing that I want to talk about to move on a little bit that I think was great about this movie, some really great, and in my opinion, unexpected gross effects in this movie. I didn't think, maybe I'm misremembering, but I don't remember there being too much like gore and blood in Talk to Me. I thought that movie was pretty tame in that regard. I mean, some of the ghost designs and stuff, from what I remember, were pretty grotesque, but I don't remember anything like this. They do some pretty gross stuff in this movie, pretty good body horror going on in this one. And just lots of like disturbing imagery. This movie actually has some of the best, like, in my opinion, has some of the best like found footage VHS stuff. Because there's a character who watches some stuff on VHS. I think probably since like John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness, at least in terms of like how much it creeped me out. You know what I mean? If you've seen John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness, you probably know what I'm talking about. There's some moments where they watch like some VHS footage in that movie, and that it's always creeped me out. Every time I watch that movie, it creeps me out. In this movie, I'm adding that to the list. I think they did a really good job with that. It's surprisingly gory, but in like a really good way. So I do want to talk about a little bit. I spoke earlier about the pacing of this movie and how they deal out the information. So to be honest with you, there's some stuff going on in this movie where when it started, it was only maybe like 20, maybe 30 minutes into it. And they were delivering this information, and I'm just like, I feel like y'all are playing your hand a little bit too early. Like some of this stuff, like I know this was probably coming, but like I don't really need to know it now. You know what I mean? But by the time the movie ended, showing that stuff earlier actually ended up helping the film a lot, and is what led me to being like locked in those last 20 minutes and leaning forward in my seat and everything. I didn't even care about the people on the row behind me who kept yapping this whole freaking movie. Really got on my nerves. But when that last 20 minutes hit, I was so locked in, I didn't even hear them anymore. It was pretty cool, actually. I kind of just got tunnel vision and was really focused on the rest of the movie. And that's really what the movies are about, am I right? So, yeah, to wrap this all up, I gotta say, I think Bring Her Back is pretty great. And pretty, for me anyway, gleefully disturbing. Because I was having a good time with this. And, one of those movies that, like, I feel it's pretty depressing and gross and disturbing in a lot of ways, but I want to rewatch it really fast. You know what I mean? It kind of reminds me, I don't think this movie, it kind of reminds me of Hereditary in that way, where like Hereditary freaked me out when I saw it. For some reason, I wanted to see it again like immediately. So this movie, pretty much the same kind of thing, and that doesn't happen often. That's a pretty tight thread to get through the needle there. Yeah, it's one of those movies that I feel is gonna stay and linger with you for a while. I actually kind of can't wait to see this again. I do want to like, I'm trying to like hold off and not go see it in theaters again, because I want to just watch it at home on Blu-ray and see how I feel about it then. But as of right now, I got to give this movie 5 stars out of 5. It was awesome. I had a really great time with this one. I kind of unexpectedly, and one thing that I know I showed a clip from the trailer, but one thing that I think helped, and funny enough, the trailers are pretty vague, so I didn't have to do this, but I went into this pretty much blind. I was like, you know what, I liked these guys' last movie. There's another new original horror film from them, and I do this from time to time where I'm just like, I don't want to see nothing. I'm doing that with 28 Years Later for the most part. I have seen the trailers and stuff, but I'm trying to like I'm not looking at interviews, I'm not looking at any extra stuff. I'm just like, nope, don't want to know nothing. as little as I can. And the same thing went with this. I actually didn't even see, I just knew it was coming out. I knew what day it was coming out. I actually didn't even see any trailers or anything in front of any movies I saw, which is like a rarity. So I do actually recommend going into this knowing as little as possible, even though you probably just watched my review. But you know, I dug this quite a bit. This was awesome. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video and the review. Hit that like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel. I gotta say, I've been pretty lazy as far as these videos go lately, as well as the streaming. And I'm gonna get back to doing this pretty regularly. So I think for the rest of the summer and the rest of this year, you can expect regular videos from me, as well as like me streaming more, both here and on YouTube. I multi-stream. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or night whenever you're watching this video. Peace.